we'll get going. It's just gone 1 o'clock. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation in today's session. My name's Kim. I'm one of the trainers here with Repit, and on the panel today, I'll have Amanda Addard, who's going to be helping out with the chat and Q&A. And I think I'll have one of our other trainers as well, Anna, joining us as well. So be great to get us underway and get us started. So as I said, can't believe we're doing end of year wrap up already. It's gone so fast, but while we get into it, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping. So Amanda and Anna will be looking after the chat feature as well as the Q&A. We'll do a little bit of a poll as well, just to keep you engaged in the session. Can give us a little bit of feedback about what products you're using and what you think you might get wrapped up for end of year. We're going to give you a few tips and tricks. I'm focusing today on the letting platform in terms of just making sure we've got all our messaging sorted out and all that sort of thing. So we'll have a little look at the agenda. So for those of you that do look into IRE and work with Ideal Week, we'll have a look at how we can change those non-trading times or those vacancy times when you're going to be closed over the holiday period. We'll also look at updating any team signatures that we need to with an out of office or, a little Christmas message that we can put in there. And then generally pointing people to the website where you'd probably be advertising your trading hours as well. Also, we're going to check in on how we're going to create our inspections for the new year and make sure we've got all that up and running, ready to go. And then for our clients that are using BDM as well, we'll touch a little bit on the BDM newsletters and what we can do in terms of wrapping up a little newsletter for the end of the year so we can make sure that our clients are all aware of what our trading hours are. So I'll just share with you now our little IRE screen, so bear with me while I get that sorted. All right, hoping that you can see the IRE screen okay. Now, before we do that, I might just start with a little quick poll. So if you just bear with me, if I can see what I've got going on there. We've got a little poll, and the one that I want to share with you and launch today is about what products do you use. So if you just could give me a little bit of a heads up for those of you that use Ideal Week and that sort of thing, it'd be great to see who's using Ideal Weeks and lettings. Okay. Got a few using BDM. Lots of you using To Apply. Excellent. Okay, great. Thanks for that. I'll just close that poll out now. It doesn't look like too many are using Ideal Week. I will run through it anyway, just as a brief overview, just so people can see for those that are going to join us. I'll just end that poll now. Yep, I'll just let you all know how we walk through that. Okay, so with our setting up our non-trading times, it's a really good idea to make sure that we've got the opportunity to share that information with our clients. So as I said, we will go through the Ideal Week, we'll go through the letting product and how we can do that and some messages as well. But the first thing we're going to have a look at is showing how we can display those non-trading hours for our letting clients. So this is for diamond level users. So those of you that are diamond level users will have this access to the settings area. So where that lives is under our settings, under our letting, and then you can see here the non-trading times. So when we click into the non-trading times, we've got the opportunity to click on the 3 action dots on the top right here, and then we can add any new entries in there. So it's always going to default to the day that you're actually on. So you can just change any of those dates and select from your little drop down. So when you're going to sort of pop that through, perhaps you're going to be your last working day is on the 20th of the 12th, then you would keep adding each new entry for whatever days you're not going to be available, and we're just going to save it. So sorry, that didn't really work that well, did it? Let me just check that again. So we're just going to click on that. Going to go through. Maybe we'll click on the 20th of there. Might help if we save it. That's always going to help, isn't it? So we'll save that, and then it will default. It's actually not behaving itself today, but that's okay. When we add those times in, what we're going to do then is if there's times that we need to delete, if we've made a mistake, we can just click on the 3 action dots and delete from there. Now, just be mindful that when we've got clients that are already inquiring on properties, so anyone waiting for times to be advised on properties, then those clients are going to be advised of those times as we change them. So we'll just click OK. And it just lets you know how many perspectives have been notified. So again, just where we went there was under the settings, letting. It's always fun when the system doesn't work the way I was expecting it to. And then 3 action dots, add in your times, change any of those times, delete where necessary. Okay. Now, the next section we'll go into is working with the ideal week. So I'll just, as I said, I'd briefly talk to you about this. So under the settings icon, again, under that letting area, we've also got that ideal week. So for those clients that do use the ideal week, essentially we would just select the team member that we would apply this to, because you have to do it at the individual level. So select the team member, then you would just add in any of those unavailability times that we need to add in. So scroll down to your not available. You're going to click on the 3 action dots. We're going to put a new entry in, and then we're going to select the dates and times here. All right, so when that's put through, and honestly, I have no idea why it's not giving me the dates that I need, but you'll put it through, and it does need to be applied to each individual user that's using the ideal week. So how we do that again, under settings, letting, we're going into the ideal week. We're selecting the team member that relates to, and we're clicking on non-trading times, putting in the dates, and then closing that out. I think what it might have been is the date range that I need to put in. All right, now the next section that we're going to go through is we're going to have a little look at our signatures. Now, signatures are a big thing. We've got our people and teams here. So with the people and teams that we've got, what we can do here is we can click on the signature template, and then we can create what we need that to be in terms of our closing or trading hours, or you can put a little like just sort of say, please review our trading hours over the Christmas period on our website, or you can even put in like a little link to your website as well, so they can link straight through to your website. So what you do when you change your email signatures, and keeping in mind that when you do this and you save it, you will have to put a reminder in your calendars when you get back from your holiday leave to change it back again. But essentially you can create the template here, and then you can apply it to a specific team member, okay? Or you can select a few team members that it would apply to, and then you would click on the little signature, update signatures, and it would update based on that signature template that you've just changed. So that's how we would do it there. The alternative to that would be actually going in to your signature, editing that, and you could also type anything that you needed to here. All right. Now I'll just stop and pause for a little minute. We've got a few chats going off there. Okay, you don't have a signature template tab. We'll have a look into that. If you could pop in some, I'll look into that after we do our session. I'll look into that. I can't answer that right now why you won't have that. If you could provide, your agency information, that'd be great. All right, I'll just close that little chat for me now. Sorry, trying to look at a few things at one time. Next, we're going to go through our rental inspections. So under our letting and our summary, we've got rental inspections that we can create for the future. Now, you guys, you've been using lettings for a while now, so you know that you can use that create new button and that you can use a new rentals inspection, and you can put in any date you want to create in the future. So if that's going to be an inspection for January, the new year, then you just pop that into the system. Now, the alternative to that is to be able to do it using the Run Wizard. So if you had a variety of properties that you know when you come back in that week that you'll want to make sure that you're sort of smashing out those inspections when you get back and having them post dated for those times, it means people can book in for those even while you're away. They can book in for those because they'll be automatically notified, as we know, with those auto responses. So as soon as they want to book into one of those future inspections, they'll have that notification go out. So where we can go and use that Run Wizard, where we can select a few properties at the same time, I'll jump in and show you now. So under letting and inspections, as opposed to going through the create new button, we can click on the inspections button, and then it takes us through to the Run Wizard. So where we've got our Run Wizard here, we would just be able to select who would be conducting those inspections, or if it's a generic, like put, property management team or leasing team, whatever you've got set up in your system, you can put in those future dates, whatever that is for you guys, and then you can just go through each step. This is where you're going to be adding the property. So we're going to go through each one of these steps, and you're going to start adding in whatever properties you feel would be beneficial for that. So these are the current ones that are in market. Add to that list. Then we click on start and stop locations. So if you're collecting the keys from the office, when you get back on that day, then you can just select that. Or if you're going to be starting or conducting those inspections from the first property, you would select what property you were going to start at. Then you're just going to do your little Run Wizard and calculate the order. So what this does for you is it will just review and show you the best path. Now, keep in mind, this is my test data, so it's not going to be as awesome as your real data, just because it has no idea where it's pinning from. So what you do is you'd pop in your times, you do your auto calculation, and then that's going to map out the best time and days for you. Sorry, the best time and format for you. So property A, B, C, D. Okay, then we're going to click on confirm inspections, and then we can create those future inspections. Now, even though you're using that Run Wizard and it is for the future, and definitely you're going to have people drop off and whatnot between now and the new year, it's not a problem, because when you do come back in, you can always just check how you're going on your summary screen with how many people have done those future bookings for those future dates when you come back to the office. And essentially you can always send out that reminder email again. So, and to do that based on how many inquiries you've got, just say, we could do it from this screen. You could have a variety of people that have inquired on the property. Then you would just select them all. You've got this little toolbar, which some of you would probably already be familiar with, and then you could just click on re-advise of times, and that's going to re-advise them of those future dates for you. So when you get back into the office, you're going to have that opportunity to be able to utilize that. I'll just stop and pause for a second and just see how we're going with our chats. Okay. All right. So with the Run Wizard and using those reminder times and all that sort of stuff when you get back into the office, it is going to save you a little bit of time. As I said, you're probably already quite familiar with the re-advise of times, but always good to have a nice little reminder when you get back into the office so you can have a look at that summary screen and see how your inquiries have been going throughout that period of time. Now, the next section that we're going to go through is in our messaging. So essentially with the messaging, what we'd want to do is make sure that any inquiries that are coming in and filtering in on those periods of time where we're away, we just want to make sure that any of those auto responses that are going out will let them know that we've got holiday times or periods of time that we're going to not be able to address anything particularly. So it'll be an auto response that still goes out just like we usually do, so we can edit those messages. Again, it's for your diamond level users. So under our messages area, we can click on the letting because these are for your incoming inquiries. Okay, and this is for when we can change any of these messages that we really want to. So if you wanted to add any additional information in here about your closing times, you can actually edit that and put any of that in. Being mindful though, that when anything that you change before you go away for Christmas, put those reminders back into your calendar and diarize to make sure that you remind yourself to remove that little field once you're back in the office. Okay, so it's just nice to make sure that you've got those different sorts of messages where you've been able to let people know what's going on and when you're going to be able to start communicating with them again in the new year. Now, the next section that we're going to go through, and I thought it might be a good option here to kind of have a little bit of a look at our reporting as well. Because we've got the reporting options, and that's under reports, letting our owner reporting. We've got a few options here with our owner reporting. Now with the owner reporting, as you know, for those of you, some of you might already use the owner reporting, but it might be nice before you close office for the period of time that you're going away, that you can make sure that you send those last lot of reports through in that final week, so you can make sure that all your owners are getting what you need, what they need from you. So with the owner reports, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, these are where you can change any information. Initially, you can edit anything that you want your owners to see. So when you click into the reporting, you've got your date range there, and obviously that's for the last period of time that we're in. So this will be towards when you're closing up, just making sure that you've got the right date range there. You can change that if you need to. Just showing them how their property's progressed over the period of time that you've had it. You can also include this information in the owner reporting if you like to. Now, if you want to change anything that's visible in this report, you can click on the settings to the right, and then you can choose what else you would like to include or disclude if necessary. So again, this is your diamond level users that have access to change any of the reporting options. Okay, so when you change any of the reporting options here, if you maybe want to display the hits on the graph, that sort of thing, save those settings, good to go. And then that will be included in your owner reporting. All right, now to send your owner reports, and again, where we accessed this was under reports, under letting, clicked on owner reports. When you're happy with what you've done in terms of settings, you can highlight everything and just send them off to your owners. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to be able to send it off if your owner's not included. So for those of you, even though you know how to use the on list and all that sort of stuff, if there's instances where you haven't already added the owners, sorry, to each property, there's a way that you can do that even without going through the owner report. Without going through the owner on list. So what you can do, and by owner on list, I mean IRE on list, sorry. So under letting summary, if you just select a property and you know that you've got no owner details there, as soon as you see a pencil, you can click on that pencil and you can add any of the owner details here. So when you click on that add owner contact, you can start populating the information in here. Save and close. Okay, so important that obviously you would normally do that from the outset with your on lists, but there have been times, you know, we get busy, we haven't had the opportunity to do our on list, so you can always add that information. Why we want to make sure that we're getting that reporting sort of finalised and making sure that we've got our owners available to attach to those properties is so we can give them every opportunity to take a good look at the information before we close for the year. All right, I'll stop and pause for a second and just see how we're going with any of our questions. Looks like we're okay. All right, now the next section that we're going to walk through is all around our BDM for our BDM clients. Actually, before I do that, I might take a step back. We've had a look at those letting messages. Now, if you want to let anyone know, when we've got those applications, we want to make sure that those applications are finalised as well. So if there's applications, obviously, in the system and you're working through those, then essentially it would be great to make sure that we've got them to the relevant status before you do that break on leave. So essentially, if it's with the owner, then at least change the status on the application to say that it's with owner. But if that is the case, then I would reach out to your client as well to make sure that they're aware that it's now sitting with the owner and it may not get reviewed until you're back in the office over that, you know, back from your break. So just be mindful of your applications. If you can close them all out before the end of the year, of course, that's great, but we know that that's not always possible. So if that is the case, and any applications or any active applications that you've got in the mix at the moment, you can actually use your selector tool under lettings, applications, right? And you can actually send a little email message. You can go next and just start typing in, letting you know that we are still considering your application, but we are going to be closed for a period of time. And these are our operating hours. At least then the applicants know what's happening with their application over that closure period if you haven't got the opportunity to close it out before end of year. So you're probably a little concerned about, oh, well, applications and you've got 4 people that you've selected. When you do merge and review, essentially what that's going to do is it will allow you to click on each message, customize it if you need to. So they're all going to be merged and it's all BCC'd. So no one else is going to see anyone else that you've selected in that cohort that you've chosen to select to get those notifications out. As soon as you're finished with previewing or looking at those template messages, then just click on send messages. So then your applications that you've selected will now have a clear idea of what's happening with their application over that Christmas closure. All right, we'll just check on our little chats. Looks like we're okay at the moment. Next section is for our BDM. So apologies in advance if you don't have the BDM product switched on. But for those who do and are interested to listen to this, essentially when you've got your BDM product switched on, then we can also do a newsletter out to our BDM, to our clients that use BDM. So any new leads that we've got in the system, any of our contacts that we're currently working with in the system, we can create that newsletter template and send that out. Now, how we can do that is we're just going to go into the email template designer. So under IRE BDM, We're going to go into the marketing. We're going to go into email template designer. So when we've got, and this is one I prepared earlier, when we're into the email template designer, we can actually build out the template that we need to. So obviously I'd built one out before our session today. So with that in mind, we put in any of the Christmas trading hours that we need to, and we go through each section of what we need to say. So we can put any additional content in here that we want to, any banners that we want to put in to give it that Christmas feel, anything that we need to bring their attention to in the email title. Now, if we wanted to check that before we actually send it out, we can click on that little down arrow, send it to ourselves as an email before it actually gets sent to anyone else. Now, how we send that, and we can save that, is through our messages, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment. The other part too, for those that do use BDM, this is for your current clients, this BDM campaign. We've also got one where you can do it for your BDM contacts. So when you click on BDM contacts, you can basically pretty much duplicate what you've already done for your primary contacts, but these are for the contacts that aren't a work in progress. So you can build out the same template for them as well and market it to them as well. So once we're happy with our template and we want to send that out, what we would do in that instance is we would go down to our messages, go into IRE BDM, and where we go to is our templates here. So as you can see, I've already created the template here, but how I did that was I'd just click on add new template. I'd give it the name, whether it was Christmas trading hours. And it could be for, you know, my work in progress clients. Okay. When I've done that, I can actually select my Christmas trading hours there, save and close. Now to market that out, I can just simply click on my IRE BDM. I can go into my leads. I can send it out that way to all my current clients, or I could jump into my contacts, select all my contacts, click on that little email, because it's got a few in there. It'll take a little minute. And then we can, it's not going to do it for me today, great. Because I didn't build it in there, we'll do it for the lead, sorry. Select, email. If you'd built the contacts campaign template, you'd see it there. Next. Sorry, I'll go back a bit. Christmas trading's there. Next. And then we can see that Christmas trading one again. So then we would just, we do have the opportunity to merge and review, or we could just send that email template out to those current works in progress. So again, to build that campaign template out, what we would do under IRE BDM marketing, go into the email template designer, pick your cohort that you're going to be marketing it to. So whether it's your current work in progress, or again, if you wanted to use it for BDM contacts. So you'd generate it in BDM contacts and build it out here. Okay, go down into your messages. You're going into your BDM templates and marketing it from there. All right. So we've gone through a fair bit of information today. So where we've gone through is just a little recap. We've gone through having a look at how we can jump into our settings under letting, our non-trading times, 3 action dots, select what you need to, new entry, to and from date to date. Then we can go into also, for those that have the ideal week, jumping into the ideal week, selecting each team member that is relevant to, then adding those non-trading times, 3 action dots, select your date range here. All right, the last little section again, just as a reminder, those messaging templates that you can change as we need to. Click on those letting ones. embed it in any messages that you would like, and also recap on those applications. Jump into your applications. If they're not closed out and they're going to be a little bit of time over that downtime, then make sure you at least notify them. So under lettings, applications, select. All right. Now, we'll jump back in and I'll just do a quick poll again. The quick poll that I want to do now is just a little bit about, sorry, doesn't want me to go over to the next one. So sorry about that. It won't show me my next poll, but I'll try again, see if I can go to the next poll. Unfortunately, it hasn't allowed me to go through. Sorry, guys, very sorry about that. But what I might do is ask you to put it in the chat. What I'd like you guys to tell me is a little bit about what you would like to sort of review, or has that been helpful for you guys to review any of the sections that we've gone through today? So I'll just wait till you have a little response in there. And we'll just jump in. So the poll is, what are you going to get ready for Christmas? So after you do your little poll in the chat feature, it'd be great for you guys to kind of work through that. What we're going to do now is we've had a nice little review of what we've done for end of year wrap up. Now, obviously, it's a fairly short session because I haven't gone into all the other products that we have for end of year. We're focusing on those applications in that letting platform in the BDM for today's session. But essentially, what we'll do is Amanda will be sending out a little short survey just to see how you found today's training. Don't forget tomorrow, for those of you that don't work in the current UI, which I've done our training in today, we do have a webinar for tomorrow based on the new user interface. So for those who want to register and attend, the beautiful Amanda is going to be hosting that one for us tomorrow. So make sure you register, and how you do that is just jump into your IRE help, click on webinar, and then you can jump in and register yourselves for the webinars. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I think Amanda has already sent that little survey in here. So thanks again for your time. Have a great Christmas break for those of you that get some downtime. And for those that are attending the sessions that we've got for the next webinars from now until December, then we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for your attendance today.